folks, maybe you thought in this age of COVID that maybe I'd take a little break. Guess what? For all you Triskaidekaphobics out there, it's season 13 of Kenny's Two Pennies. Now, before you go looking that up in your funkin' wagnalls, let me explain that. Triskaidekaphobia is an irrational fear of the number 13. Well, thing is, it's amazing what people are afraid of nowadays. People are afraid of a lot of things, especially in this day and age. Maybe they're afraid of me with this mask on. As they're afraid maybe I'm the Claw, or maybe I'm the Shadow. If I was the Shadow, I wouldn't be talking. Of course, this is the way some people do foreplay. Oh, who is this? The Shadow. But, oh, what the hell. Let's get to the topics that they're going nowadays. Number one, yeah, isn't it weird how we're watching sports now? Yeah, racing, basketball, hockey, baseball, all playing in pretty empty stadiums. Of course, it's still pretty entertaining to watch them, especially when Aaron Judge comes up, even if he is injured now. You know, if anybody says, "All rise," yeah, they can hear it throughout the stadium. Of course, let's hope he comes back pretty soon, because right now the Yankees are struggling. And of course, watching them play hockey and watching them play basketball in a bubble. But who gives a darn watching the basketball, especially if LeBron James cries foul? As I mean, yeah, they got Black Lives Matter plastered all over the court. But I mean, that's for another day and time. And part of me doesn't really want to get into it, because I don't want to stoke any fire. But maybe I'll stoke something with saying like this. It's time we stop demonizing the cops and stopped idolizing the mooks. Get the picture? That's all I'm going to say about that. That's all I want to say about the situation there in Syracuse and in Portland. As you know, if you want to protest, I mean, it's fine by me. But kind of keep it down to civilized, will you? And I mean Portland. Protests have been going on for over 100 days. I'm wondering, don't these people have jobs? Don't these people have lives? You know, we get your point. But look, you gotta think about, hey, toning it down a little bit. Hey, if you got jobs, get to them. Yeah. And of course, this whole thing in Rochester. And I mean, that some people call, hey, Warren should be resign and so should Singletary. Well, you know, you can't just say that out of the blue. Plus, it looks to me like the police followed what they were supposed to do. Maybe there does need to be some rule when it comes to mentally challenged people, especially if they act out. But you know, what's the police supposed to think? The police, they're pretty much involved in preservation of life and limb. They're there to protect it. But of course, this guy starts doing something that could harm him. What are the police supposed to do? Stand by and go, oh no, tut. And pardon me for the robo-claw. Yeah, I've got some arthritis in my hand, so don't need to worry. But look, I mean, the police can't just stop crime with a wave of a finger. You know, there needs to be a lot more done, and the media needs to stop stoking the fire when it comes to this. Enough's enough. I think I've seen enough, and many people around here have seen enough. But I mean, that's all I want to say about this. Because I do want to talk about the Cuse and also about the Bills. Because guess what? Unlike some Division I schools who decided to postpone their season, the Cuse and the ACC and quite a bit of Division I is going ahead with a fall season, albeit with a lot of changes. Yeah, the Cuse decided to focus mainly because of this on a mostly schedule of ACC opponents. They're playing 10 ACC opponents and one non-conference game right there in the dome. I should say the new improved Carrier Dome. A lot of us would love to see this new fixed roof. But of course, we don't know whether Cuomo is going to allow fans inside the dome. That's another thing. Are they going to pump a lot of the crowd noise that makes it the Loud House into the dome? Yeah, the first game isn't until the 26th. Inside the dome. The Orange do kick off the season against a very resurgent North Carolina team. But this is going to be a really unique season for Cuse fans. You know, they did away with season tickets. And the thing is, if they had season tickets, they would have gone to mobile ticketing. But the thing is, not everybody has a smartphone, Cuse. You know, hopefully there's things that'll get people who don't have smartphones to be able to watch games when it comes around to that. But of course, we'll see what happens if Cuomo says, hey, fans can come in. Well, what will it be? 25, 33, 50%? Who knows? But whatever. It's going to be an interesting season. Mostly ACC teams, with the exception of Liberty. And the thing is, Liberty is without a president right now, because their president had to resign in disgust. Oh well, that's a lot of thing when you fall well. And I'll go from talking about the Cuse to talking about the Bills. Yeah, Buffalo made some pretty good moves, especially signing the big wide receiver, Stephon Diggs. He immediately makes the Bills a contender this year. A couple of years ago, we had no names on the wide receiver core. A lot of no names. But now we got Diggs. Now we got Brown. We got Cole Beasley. And we've made significant upgrades, especially bringing Mario Addison in on the defense. McDermott has got a well-deserved contract extension, and a lot of fans are really excited because, guess what? No more Tom Brady in the division. Oh, he's taken his act. And so has Gronkowski taken his act, if you call it an act, to Tampa Bay. Of course, those two nitwits are Buccaneers anyway. They can be swashbucklers down there whenever they want to be. Well, it's going to be a whole new ball game, especially with Cameron Newton now as the quarterback there for New England. But Newton is no Tom Brady. Yeah, he's a dual threat. But you know what this Newton is? Could he be a Fig Newton? Of course, he could be a tough cookie anyway. We'll see. But I will talk about a couple of the new names on the Bills. Yeah, no more Steven Hauchka. He looked like he was kind of off target and off killed or whatever since he got blindsided in that game against the Jets a couple of years ago. He hadn't looked the same. And even though the Bills signed him to a contract extension, he lost his starting job to a new kid from Georgia Southern, Tyler Bass. And the thing is, you hope Buffalo didn't go fishing with this guy. But this guy beat out Hauchka, so let's look and see if he's the real deal. And of course, we got a new running back out of Utah, a tough kid named Zach Moss. But you know, moss does grow on trees sometimes, and moss can grow on houses. Hopefully, this moss can grow on with some great play for the Bills. And I will talk about their not big pick, because they didn't pick till the second round. And you know who they got? AJ, the guy from Epinesa. But do you think a bossa nova group is going to make a song about him if he makes a sack? AJ, the guy from Epinesa is walking in. Oh, well. I forget who originally composed that song. Of course, the one who it's based on, she's nearly 80 years old and she still lives in Rio de Janeiro. and she still looks like $1,000,000 if you ask me. But whatever. Last but not least, I will talk about high school sports. Yes, the age of COVID-19 is still going on. And high school sports, it's going to look a lot different. High schools are going to look a lot different. Desks spaced 6 feet apart. New cleaning techniques. New ways to deal with things. But you know what? I pray for all the teachers, and I pray for all the students, and I pray for the staff. Let's get through this. And of course, we don't know when football's going to start. We don't know if volleyball's going to get going. Other sports like soccer, cross country, and the like are going to go ahead, albeit with a lot of rules changes. But you know, we will get through this. Hopefully soon, this will be a thing of the past. May take us a while, but let's pray, guys. That's all I can tell you. And that's it for my first season of season 13. Triskaidekaphobics. You better get over your fear of that.